I think it is not a lapsus on behalf of Honorable Babli, who is used to cause Kibiza. And he has talked what he had. Lifin cause Kibiza. And in one sentence, he has summed up the whole budget and has made my task easy so that I will not have to go through the economics of the budget. Et qu'est-ce qu'il a dit? Qu'est-ce qu'il a dit? Le peuple a faim. Il faut interpréter cette phrase pas seulement littéralement, figurativement aussi. Le peuple a faim, oui, de la nourriture, qui est chère. Mais le peuple a faim pour la vérité, pour des crimes non élucidés. Le peuple a faim pour la justice. Pourquoi deux poids, deux mesures? Certains ont un traitement royal, ici ou ailleurs, et certains sont vilipendés. Le peuple a faim pour la sérénité dans la société. Le peuple a faim pour la sécurité, pas seulement physique, la sécurité émotionnelle. On a écouté des jeunes parlementaires du gouvernement. On vient d'écouter un jeune parlementaire, quelques minutes de cela. And we listened to two other young parliamentarians from government. It was a pleasure to see the transformation in the discourse of Honorable Ismail Raoult. A sea change, I call it. And I was struck by the intervention of a young parliamentarian, Honorable Nazur Ali. Philosophical, non-toxic. And it is this that we want. This is what we want. Another toxic person is talking. You will listen to him.
No, now you're pinpointing.
Let me continue.
Please.
I remove it.
That.
I remove it. I remove it.
You're becoming toxic.
I remove it. I know it hurts. I will remove it. I remove it. I am saying that this August Assembly gives us the opportunity to share not only views, ideas for tap-la-tab effect. What we say has an impact outside. And I'm very careful what I'm saying, because I know people will be listening to me. And I have to be careful. Tout à l'heure, je vais parler sur l'éducation, mais in a non-toxic way. Before I proceed any further, allow me, Mr. Speaker, sir, with your permission, to pay tribute to one politician who was my opponent in the last election, 2019. He was my opponent. And I wrote it on my Facebook post. And I went at his funeral also, I said it. I am paying tribute to a gentleman who left us early. He was a political opponent, not an enemy. A person for whom I have a lot of respect. And I will always talk good of him, because we could run for an election and still hold our values high and respect. I am paying tribute to late Mahend Gungapersad. And I recognize, even if he has been an opponent, he has contributed something for the constituency. No one can deny. Why we live in this denial? Why? Everyone knows alliances are made, broken, made again. We have been friends. Why we behave with so much of toxicity, verbally and in other ways? Honorable Balgobin in his speech was saying that Labour Party is left only with key. He's talking about the broken heart of MMM, etc. We are young. I am new in politics. And these are young politicians. They have a career. Many years they will be here. It is important for them to be careful what message we send to the nation. It is not the 20,000 rupees that matter all the time. It is the values by which we stand. Honorable Balgobin, Honorable Ramcharan, Honorable Dulab, talking about a former Prime Minister's bills. This is why we are here. Talking about this and that. I will not do that. Be it Sasiu Sagar, be it Anirudh Jagnat, be it Paul Béranger, be it Gaëtan Duval, be it all these people, we have to respect them.
Even the speaker.
Yes. Yes. It is earned very often. Yes. Now, Honorable Balgobin is saying Labour Party members are left with the key and you do not give the permission. I know I will respect you. You said we can't brandish pictures. I will not. But I am staring at a picture. I am. And what do I see? What do I see? He is Prime Minister. He is holding the Labour Party flag. This is what we call in Bhojpuri, Neki Kar Darya Mein Dal. And Ramgoolam did it. He offered his shoulders to have this person elected. He offered his shoulders. He offered his friendship. He offered his support. These are values we stand for. And today, qu'est-ce qu'on ne dit pas sur cet homme-là? And he is not even present in this August Assembly. And if I have to choose a leader, I will choose David Ramgoolam. Not Bilan, he has done a lot. What have you achieved? I have not achieved anything. These people have marked history. These prime ministers, former, present, and future. We cannot, we simple mortals, and this is what Honorable Nazir Ali said the other day in his beautiful conclusion when he said that we come here for 2 days and we will leave empty-handed. We will leave empty-handed. This is what I said in my maiden speech. And this is what I will maintain. We can be gentlemen. Honorable Ashiganga was a gentleman. And I will always talk good of him, in spite of being my political opponent. We never had any akroshas. This I will tell you. Because this is politics. This is a new way of doing politics. I don't think Honorable Gilbert Balbli will disagree with me, because he shares these values. Now, Mr. Speaker, sir, let me come to one issue which I had not prepared. But a press article today in the morning in L'Express has had an impact on my constituents. And they have been sending me messages after messages, and they are asking me, qui peut arriver dans Slare? Qui peut arriver dans Slare, the youth center? For those who do not know it, may not know it, my good friend Ramdani, the PPS, will talk after me. He is present. He must have heard it. Just like Honorable Tilak. They are asking me, est-ce qu'il écrase Youth Center? They are asking me. I don't have the answer. Je ne suis pas dans les secrets de Dieu. They are asking me, qui peut arrive what we call campement gouverneur. President of Chihuahuas have phoned me. Or Petit Raffray. Réunion Morel. Goodlands. Anse-Larrey. Cap Malheureux. Why? Because that place, apart from being a recreational place, holds an important place in our heart. Because for each Ganesh Chaturthi, we go there for Visarjan. I go there with my family. This is how I have been brought up. This is the place I go. What will happen to that place? We don't know. When I read that article, I don't have answer for my constituents. And these answers have to be given. Will this spot no longer be ours? Is it true that someone, blue-eye boy, or I don't know, how Mr. Ramcharan called it, I don't know, the different colors he knows. What type of boy that man may be? Will that place no longer be ours? We have already in constituency number 6, fishermen of Madamazo talking to me. There was a question by Honorable Navarre in that sense about Bédérone. Access no longer given. There is another place in Pointe Canonier. I made a request during adjournment time for access to the beach because many people no longer have access. They can't get their little boat to the beach. I asked it to the Deputy Prime Minister. I requested him. The same is happening somewhere in Melville. We are gradually losing these prime places where we have been going since our childhood. Will this place also be no longer ours? I am talking, Mr. Speaker, sir, I am talking about page 36, item 212, page 37, item 219. If you ask me whether I am talking on the budget, yes, I'm referring to these. How can we mitigate climate change when we are not protecting the little space that is left? Some people are asking, the senior citizens I have met in the constituency, and one dada phoned me, and he told me, beta, hamar nati ke mili la place. Will my grandson get the opportunity to go to the beach? And I told him, I will ask and tell him. I hope we get the answer. There are many other things to be talked about constituency number 6. We have a PPS, he will talk about it. But week after week, whenever possible, I have been asking things for my constituency. Whatever we get, we are happy. But one or two things immediately, if it can be done. I know it may not be done overnight. But the flooding that occurs, the water accumulation that occurs after each rainfall in front of Dugachanari Government School, which has been my primary school, which has been the primary school of my kids. I have seen kids literally standing on bus shelters because it is completely inundated. 9 years this government is here. Please do something. I know you will come, you have said, done this, but there are priorities. We have schools over there. We have Jagdambi SSS, we have Dugachanari Government School, we have one school, Sani School in Dugachanari Government School. We have to use the main road. Please do something for that. Now, what logic is it? You come with red pomp. You go for the inauguration of a traffic center in Poudreau village. Last Tuesday, I went there for a puja. Ganga, Sagar Dam. There is a Shivalaya there. And we were there in the morning, and it went on till 1. And many senior citizens, the dadas and daddies, the nana and nannies, they told me, beta, there is a toilet there. But we can't use it. It has not been opened. And I made a request in this August Assembly to have it open. These basic things, we are talking about billions and billions, caring, protégé. Do these little things. You will get the blessings of these people. Not sending an SS afterwards, qui fait n'invite Gungapersad, pas n'invite les autres. People have the right to love me. People have the right to love me. They may be whatever, but don't harass these people. They will continue inviting me. Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me now to move to the core of my speech, which is education. Now, before proceeding any further, I would like, today I will be quoting a few ministers of education. I am giving prior notice. Present, past, of this country, of elsewhere. Let me start with the first quote. The British Minister of Education, in the past, not now, and I have named David Blanket. David Blanket had this to say about education, and I knew Honorable Steve Obigadou knows that person, must have heard about, must have read about him. Yes, because he's a person of caliber. And what he said time back, to compete in the global economy, to live in a civilized society, and to develop the talents of each and every one of us, we will have to unlock the potential of every young person. By doing so, each can flourish, building on their own strength and developing their own talents. We must overcome the spiral of disadvantage in which alienation from or failure within the education system is passed from one generation to the next. This is what we will be talking. This is what we will be talking. We have to prevent this alienation. From memory, I'm saying. I may be wrong. From memory, I'm quoting Michael Harrington, an American sociologist, anthropologist. He says that poverty has this ability to reproduce, recreate poverty. That is why generation after generation we go on in the spiral of poverty. How to break it? How to break it? Education is important. And that is why I salute Sasi Sagaram Ghulam, who gave people like us, like me, the opportunity to be where I am today. Coming from where I come. Coming from where I come. Free education. The possibility to compete in this country on the bare basis of merit and to get scholarship and etc., etc. This is empowerment of youngsters. This is what Labour Party has done. Not only free education. He has given this broad-mindedness, not only mine, like Gandhi says. Education should look after three H's. The head, that is the intellect. The heart, that is the emotions. The hand, that is the skills. And my education is a mixture of Gandhi and Tagore. But how many of you will be willing to listen to this? I will not waste your time by throwing these things to you. But suffice it today for me to say, I welcome the measures taken for SEN schools. Yes, provisions have been made in the budget. But does the public know we have 3 types of SEN schools? I was not aware, Mr. Speaker, sir. When I was a rector, wherever I was a rector, I had a twinning with one SEN school in Montainon. In my village, in Goodlands, we have a SEN school, in a government school. But there is also an NGO which runs a SEN school. And I have been told, correct me if I'm wrong, But today I'm vouching, I'm requesting this government, the Minister of Finance. I have been told that carers for NGO, they get only 9,700 rupees. Drivers also, etc. And once when these children reach the age of 20, in NGOs, they no longer get the grant. In many of these schools I have been visiting, it is not when they reach 20 they have to go home. On the contrary, these children, they are happy in these schools. Please, make some provision for NGOs, I'm saying. Sometimes it is difficult for them to make both ends meet. Let me be their voice today in this parliament. I have seen these people, how they care. You know how difficult it is to look after these children. They are our children. These carers, these people who live with them. Don't get me into the new books of economics, old books of economics. I don't know these things. I'm making a simple request, humanitarian request for these carers. Whether they are from government school or paying private school or from NGO, I've come to learn there are 3 types of schools. Please let us empower these people first. Then we talk about bill, paquet, fincase, etc. Let us care for them. If we are not able to do that, my service, like Tagore says, will never be fruitful. Mr. Speaker, sir, you have given a ruling that certain words cannot be used. But let me navigate. Let me navigate. I said, now I will quote another Minister of Education. What that person, and before I start, let me tell you, in her speech, when she was speaking, there was a deputy speaker on chair. So I will be quoting. It is not you. She, whatever she said. 17th November 2012. 17th November 2012. And she's addressing the Assembly. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I have heard the Honourable Minister of Education and Human Resources is stating that we now have less failures at the level of CPE. And in spite of the declared intentions that we are going to phase out the CPE examinations, the Honourable Minister came up last week stating that CPE results are not that bad. She continues, we should not be talking about 30% failure. We should be talking about some 15% failure. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, 15% failure at the level of CPE? This is terrible. And what is worse is that we are not taking any action to improve the situation. I keep on wondering why we wait for a child to reach CPE and allow a child to fail at the level of CPE before we think about taking some actions. Who said that? Who said that? Honorable Leela Devi Dukan on 17th November 2012 in Hansard. This is what I am quoting. You are not allowing us to use the expression extended program. I will not use it.
No, listen. You said people have to show respect. It's not by yourself. Yes. Practice what you say. It's not that I don't want you to talk about extended education, but this topic has been canvassed and it is in the standing order. Dr. Gungapersad,
okay.
You are a fine intellectual.
Thank you.
You know how to read, and it's very easy for you to read and to learn your standing orders.
We replace.
Maybe you fail there.
Maybe
you fail there. No. You should know your standing orders. You can't criticize me. And these are the same standing orders by Sir Hilal Bagji, Sir
We are
Ahmed
not.
Dibla, Sir Sagar Ramgulam.
We have
All
to replace.
These great people, great men use the same standing orders.
We have to replace CPE par EP. We have to replace CPE by EP.
Whatever you do is not my problem. But you can't refer to the chair.
No, I'm not.
This is showing disrespect. No. This is not being courteous to the chair. The chair gives a ruling, and this is a standard.
Now,
and in all the parliaments in all the world, you will see the same thing.
15,
you are not inventing parliament.
When 15% failure at the level of CPE was terrible, I ask the Honourable Minister to tell us what it is today. This is what she said. And she goes further. Children have got their talents. They have got their capacities and their potential. We should try to tap this out of these children. We spend a lot on the education sector, but we spend it wrongly. This is what is written there. And today we are voting for 19.7 billion rupees for education sector. 19.7 billion rupees for our kids. And I am telling the parents of these kids, we are telling the parents of these kids, there is hope. Because one subheading of the budget, the revamping of the education system, something like that. This is going to be scrapped. This is going to be scrapped by the next government. This is a commitment, not just words in the Hansard. Because these kids deserve a skill and competency-based curriculum, which is adapted to their needs. I go further. 20th November 2013, again by Honourable Dukan. She is saying, I have heard that, just like in primary section, there will be an automatic promotion from 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9. This is how I am reading verbatim. Are we not aware that the problem in primary sector is that sometimes the students end up in the 4th standard, 5th standard, and fail to write their names properly, and fail to read a comprehension properly, and still assessment is being made in these schools, and they are being promoted, automatic promotion? Are we not extending this problem up till the 9th year? This is what I can read. What has been done? What has been done? And I will quote another former Minister of Education. Another former Minister of Education. 6 December 2010. Honorable Obigadu. And what he says is very interesting. Pourtant, ce CPE, c'est le passeport obligé pour accéder à un emploi valorisant. C'est le passeport obligé pour accéder à la fonction publique. Ce sont les Essential Learning Competencies. Selon les sommités pédagogiques du MAI, 18% qui vont échouer. À qui la faute? À ces enfants, à plus de 3000 jeunes enfants qui chaque année vont être éjectés. Quel gâchis! And what follows is interesting. C'est là et immoral. Socialement, c'est dangereux. Allez voir la prison de Beaubassin qui s'y trouve. Économiquement, c'est une catastrophe. Ne venez pas me parler de gains de productivité. Ne me parlez pas de juger du développement, du succès économique de notre pays à l'onde de la mondialisation, quand vous faites plus de 3000 petits-enfants échoués chaque année à l'examen du CPE. I am not inventing the wheel. This is what we have. We are asking the 9+ students, 9+ students to take competitive exams. They have not succeeded the PESAC. They have problems with numeracy, literacy. They can't write their names. We give them the same exam as mainstream students. No. No, I cannot sit down here. You are saying failing. I will fail if I keep quiet. I will fail. I will have to throw away my PhD degree if I do that. I will have to do that because I have not learned like this. I will have to throw away my MBA degree if I keep quiet today. On ne peut pas jeter ces enfants-là, là où on est en train de les jeter. And in Singapore, the school system is increasingly getting rid of grades. We have to come with a system which empowers these kids. I have been with these kids. I am not talking like that. Unfortunately, I can't tell you which schools because I don't want the owners, the teachers of these schools to be repressed. I have been with these kids. I have met them. I have not only been at MGI and RTSS, please, don't go under this illusion. No. La traversée du désert de 2014 à 2019, I know I have used it. To learn, and to learn from children, to learn from their families. I've looked at their eyes, and I know in those eyes there is a streak of hope that tomorrow will be better. And that tomorrow we promise them, which is much more than 18,000 rupees when 20,000 rupees when they get 18. It is much more than those budgetary allowances. It is a hope of empowerment. It is a hope of a new curriculum. It is a hope of a new journey where we are going to hold their hands because we understand the suffering. Now, we are talking about all these things today when I'm talking to you. So many schools, secondary schools, shortage of staff. We are thumping tables over here in the month of June. Now when we are making provision for 200 educators, now, is the scheme of service ready for those educators? Jagdambi SSS, no biology teacher, no design teacher. I can go on with a list. And someone sent me a message. Some of you have developed this habit of reading, and they have asked me to tell it here. Les enfants pas fin écrire dans cahier. Qui gomme de nous autres? Qui ça pourrait effacer? Écrire, ils n'ont pas fini d'écrire dans cahier. Because they have had no teacher since January. Since January. And these children today are in our schools. They are our children. They are going to take NC examination. They are going to take SC examination. When I came with the question, I don't know why the Honorable Minister take it so badly when I come with questions. Take it personal. Please don't do so. Don't do so, because we care for kids. You know, in her answer, I don't want to go again and mention exactly. The rectors will know how to handle the situation during shortage of teachers. No. Rectors can manage a few things. They cannot manage everything. What has the Human Resource Department been doing? What has this department been doing? Today, we are phoning retired educators, calling them, come. And regulation after regulation, we have changed the recruitment criteria of educators. And I have been saying, give them a temps moratoire. We wouldn't have faced this situation. And so many, I don't know what to quote, what not to quote, because I feel something is amiss in our country. 2023, the system of education in Mauritius, like this? Non, c'est pas acceptable. On ne peut pas pénaliser nos enfants pour l'incompétence de certains. On ne peut pas le faire. Lorsque je parle d'une aberration pédagogique, on est susceptible avec cette expression. On est en train de jeter certains de nos enfants vers un ghetto pédagogique. C'est pour ça que Sassi Oussaga a donné l'éducation gratuite. Pour ça, let us sit together, this side, that side. These children do not know sides. These children do not know gouvernement, l'opposition. These children know that we need to get education. They need to get proper education. And Honorable Padachi has written. Page 45, education. Item 256. Our country cannot aspire to its goals of securing a sustainable future for our children without an efficient education system. You are right, Honorable Minister of Finance. You are right. To the one you are giving 19.7 billion, that person has to know how to manage it so that our kids do not suffer. Moi, je ne vais pas tomber dans le débat de punaise, pas punaise. Ça, non. That's not my level. I will not talk about that. I will talk about curriculum, changes in policies, what we should do so that artificial intelligence, yesterday you were talking about ChatGPT, these are things which interest us. I was telling a few friends on the other side, I would have liked to be lecturing in a university rather than, because many, not all, many do not appreciate when you come with ideas. I had better spent my time with MA students, giving lectures there, correcting their dissertation, preparing, empowering the students for the future of our country, so that they become good rectors, deputy rectors, good educators of this country. This is what we need. You have been nice to me. Thank you. This is what I had to say. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.